Hey guys, this is Chad. I've had a lot of people ask, how do you like package up your game pieces? I show it a lot of times, and I do it for presentation. Um, when you have a lot of pieces like this in a game, this goes to the Pokemon. These are the extra pieces that I bought to complete mine, and it just sold. So as soon as I got the pieces, I did it and replaced it. Stuff like this. This is a nice little game. You got your cards. They're all just loose. Okay. And here's another item that I'm going to be showing you what we're doing. It's got this like for a quarter. All this stuff. I mean, this was a quarter. This was a quarter. This is one of the old chess sets. And if you look, you've got this, and if you open it, you see all the loose pieces. Okay, it's what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go through and we're gonna seal this stuff up. And it also gives it a much nicer presentation in your photos. So what I really like to use is, you guys see stuff like these all the time, but the Denny is a really good option for what we want to do. Okay, it's a sealer, it's a vacuum sealer. I never use the vacuum. Okay, but what's important is, see this wire right here that will actually cut your piece, and you won't have a big, like on these larger sealers that you see, the industrial type, the professional type, it'll leave a large lip, and you cut it with scissors or something like that. But I like this for like my smaller stuff, and you'll be able to when you do it, it just cuts it, and then you can shrink it. And I use a heat gun, two setting heat gun. So we'll just get right into it. Let's start with these little things. But first of all, there's different types of bags you can use. You have the crispy type bag, and then you have the very soft type. The soft stuff is like what we put our t-shirts and our clothing in when we resell. So it can really depend on what you're doing it on. Stuff like game parts and stuff like that, I like to use this a little bit thicker, and this works much better when you're shrinking it with a heat gun. But we'll go ahead and get started here. We've got these little pieces. I'm trying to do this. I've got my camera mounted up here. What we'll do is we'll just put them in the bag here. Let's see if we can do this without losing any. Okay. And you'll see, I mean, this is not time consuming whatsoever, but I'm always talking about what is going to set your item apart from everybody else's. Okay. And you just saw that took like what, 4 seconds to put it in there. And then what I'll do is I'll just go down here like so, hit the button, and it cuts it. Okay. So that's sealed. And then what I'll do with these, because it doesn't take up much space, I'll just pull that out, put this back in there, and cut it like that. And now there's your parts. Okay, I'm not going to heat shrink this. There's no reason to whatsoever. So that one's done. And then when I list it, say this is my eBay listing. I'm taking my pictures. I'll have that set right there. I'll have that set. I'll have this, like this, and like maybe like that setting like that. Okay. And then I'll actually take a photo of those pieces like that, and it will give a good presentation. Okay. You're not trying to make people think that your item is new by any means. I mean, you don't list it as new. You don't represent it as new, but it's just a very good, I've never had anybody come back and say, I thought that was new. No. So, okay, we'll do that. That's done. These game pieces, what we'll do is we'll just take them like this. When you have a lot like this, it can get a little difficult. especially when it comes to heat shrink, because the plastic doesn't want to automatically mold to something that's not flat. So what we'll do is we'll take this, we'll stick this in here, and you can have some extra on it. It'll shrink down fine, like so. Okay, so this is what we have right now. And I don't know how easy this is going to be to see it. I guess I can take this out and show you. We'll get it up close. Here, the color is not helping very well. There we go. Okay, you take your heat gun, you get it, you let it set for a second, you get it not on it, and then you just run it across it, and you can see it shrink up. See it shrink up? You see how they're not flat? I mean, they're not standing up. Once I do it a little bit, I'll just kind of straighten them up. Sorry about that. And you just go over it like so. There you go. Oops, there you go. You can, if I held it on longer, that'll smoothen out a little bit, but it's kind of hard to do with one hand. Let me put this back in the thing here. The cards, I think, I'll be able to show you a lot easier. Okay, you've got your cards here. Okay, you've got a deck of cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cards in the bag. Cards are really easy to do. I mean, it's just get them in there. Bring this up. Get your excess out. Bring that down. Okay, you got that trimmed off, and then you want to trim this off. You notice you don't hear the vacuum going? I never use the vacuum. Okay, we got our cards right here. Let me see if I can do this without burning my fingers. That's not as close as what it looks in the camera. The depth perception is off. I'm back about 5 inches. Okay. Now what you see here is a sealed deck of cards. Okay. So when you're presenting this on your eBay listing, would you rather see, and it's got the instructions and stuff. Would you rather see a listing with just loose cards, or even a, you know, a listing like that, you know, because a lot of people do that? Or would you rather see a listing with, you know, if you're looking to buy, you know, and you're looking, it's like, okay, they're not wrinkled, they're flush, they're put together. I mean, it just really gives it a lot better presentation, especially if it's used. I mean, you know, if it's brand new, people are expecting everything to be sealed. If it's used and they see that it was, you know, put, you know, taken care of, and a lot of times I'll put in my listing sealed for storage, you know. It just, when you look at that, or that, which one is more impressive? I mean, it's a no-brainer. And you saw it took, what, a minute and a half to seal this deck of cards. It's just taken a little bit of extra time to do it. Like the Pokemon game that I had just done, and I sealed everything up. There'd been some on there for a long time, and I put mine on there with the parts sealed up and presented very nice, and mine sold. So it's what's going to put you above everybody else. So that's why I do it. That's why I think it's worth it, because it will set you apart. So for those that asked how I seal my game pieces, it's like that. It's really very simple, and you don't have to vacuum seal everything, you know. I mean, just your game pieces, you know, a lot of people could say, well, I use Ziploc bags. Okay, let me ask you this. Here, let me just grab one. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Ziploc bags. There's nothing wrong with Ziploc bags, but which one, if you were going to buy this game, would you tend to lean towards if the prices are very close? I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And so many people put their game pieces in Ziploc bags. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact, what's going to put you above them to where somebody's going to buy your item over theirs. Okay, that is key. That's how you stay ahead in this eBay business. You know, when it comes, presentation is everything with your listing. Good pictures are great. Good description is great. Good title is great. And if everybody has all those, what's going to set yours apart from them? This is what's going to set yours apart from theirs. If you're equal with everything else. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to holler. The Denny is the one it is. Okay, so if you are looking, just keep your eye out. Don't go out and buy a brand new one or anything like that. It's just one of these tools that you will eventually come across, and when you do, you could say, great, I'm going to pick it up and put that in my toolbox. So if you want to go buy a brand new one, I'm sure it will pay for itself in the long run. So all right, guys, thank you. Have a good day.